Good afternoon. This is Patty Joe, and I just wanted to welcome everybody. I want to talk and do a multi video, kind of some short videos, taking a real deep dive into the Brooklyn Homes incident. So let's take a look at the press release from Baltimore City just after this happened. I'm sure all of you have seen the news about this. I'm sure it gained some uh, nationwide coverage. In the early morning hours of July 2nd, a horrific mass occurred in Brooklyn Homes in South Baltimore. At this time, two people have been made unalive, 28 others are injured, 9 were transported. I'm not reading now, I'm just saying what I know. Were transported by medic unit to area hospitals. The rest walked into hospitals on their own and were treated. Several people were kept in critical condition for many days. But this occurred during a block party. It occurred during a block party uh, at a housing authority location in Baltimore City. So I want to take a deep dive and just, there's a lot of questions. There's so many things to separate. Let's start at the beginning. Okay, so here is a map of Baltimore. And this is a list of all of their housing authority. Here's Brooklyn Homes, and we're showing it on the map. There we go. Here's all of them, and Brooklyn Homes is purple. So they are the Brooklyn Homes is part of a reduced rental assistant housing development in Baltimore City. There are many. How they work is the housing authority looks at the income. They take an adjusted income, and 30% of that is the rent. And there's different styles of home, from high rises. I don't think they have very many of those anymore. And low rises, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom. This is a townhome style. I'm going to try to show you a picture of what they look like. This is a picture of what they look like in Brooklyn. They are townhome style, so they are 2 stories. They have 1, 2 to 3 bedrooms, depending on the size. And they're tightly, put together, but they're not, they're little houses. Right now, the housing authority is not taking applications for low income housing. So if you are a person in need of assistance with getting somewhere to live in Baltimore, mm, sorry about your luck. Because according to their own website, they're not taking applications. They're not even taking applications for a wait list. So, okay, there's the where. Why? What happened here? Brooklyn Days. Brooklyn Brooklyn Day is an event. It's a block party. Um, the families who live there, they get together, they cook out, they have an ice cream truck maybe, they have music, they have dancing, it goes into the night. It's an event. Um, this one actually quite large. I don't know if it's been this large. And we'll take a look at Brooklyn Days. Let me write that down. We will take a look at Brooklyn Day and some of the things that have happened in the past. But right now, I want to take a look at the neighborhood and why we think these people carry self-defense devices with them. And one of the comments I heard on the news was, just arrest everybody there who had a gun. Well, there were hundreds of people there. And let me assure you, having worked in the fire department in that area as a paramedic, um, they probably all did. All of them. All of them did. Okay. All right. So this is kind of an optimistic picture of what the area looks like. It's you see these trash cans off in the distance? That's more like it. They're very tight together. It's hard to put. Why do they do that? Why do they have self-defense? Because it's a scary place. Let's take a look at the map where the call came in from. The call came in from the 800 block of Gretna Court, which is right here. Gretna Court is right here. And I don't think that is where this block party was happening because it's very tight into the woods. Here they've got this huge parking lot. And having worked there and driven through there, and I live near, not too far from here, in an area close to this, um, they street pharmacists will set up shop there. Um, there is violence there. So families who are trying to live their life, this is a hard place. Why? They're undereducated. The schools, they're underemployed. They're underemployable. Why are they underemployable? The population of Baltimore has dropped significantly from its height to at almost a million, I think, to in the low hundreds of thousands. It's very low. Almost half of those people who are in that population have been arrested, probably many of them for felonies. So at that point, you're underemployable. It is hard for you to get a mainstream 9 to 5 job after that occurs in your life. Expungement happens for nonviolent crimes, happens years later. I mean, they're undereducated, underemployed, underemployable with low income. They're scared. Now, I'm not excusing that, but it's the facts. Those are the facts. Okay. So, what do? We put them into housing. This should help. It doesn't. It doesn't help to the degree that we want it to. We are supporting this. So here comes, so then the question is safe streets. So now we've got safe streets. That's a huge question. Fox News is pounding the mayor on safe streets and what occurred and what has occurred and what the um, uh, policies are and why didn't everybody know and why weren't there more police? Well, we'll take a deep dive into some of those questions because why weren't there more police? Because they're understaffed. They can't employ people. Okay, so Safe Streets, what is it? Okay, so it was founded in the year in 2000 by an epidemiologist, Dr. Gary, and I'm probably going to massacre this, Schlutkin, who is a Hopkins doc. He's worked with the Chicago ceasefire program. The way money comes in for things like this is an epidemiologist, and we'll take a deep dive into that too. They come up with there's a problem. We have violence. We're, they're killing each other in these neighborhoods. What do we do? What do we do? So they come up with these ideas, they come up with these plans, they come up with a thesis, there's a whole thing to apply for these grants. They apply for a grant, they say, we have this idea, we're going to put people to mediate these things, we're to interrupt. They call it the interruption of the transmission of violence. I don't know how you quantify that. That is the question I think that Fox News is trying to ask in their very clumsy way. There, what's the transparency? Transparent. We use this word. Sometimes there is no transparency to things like this because there's privacy issues and there's safety issues and there's credibility issues to the detriment of some of these things. So on paper, these ideas, this plan goes to a grant committee. The they get money for it, they implement these interruption things, anti-violence things, and then they do evaluations of the program. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the things just in these little paragraphs. So he got some traction here, and in 2007, Safe Streets was the flagship gun violence reduction program. Congratulations, Dr. Gary. I'm not going to massacre your name again, out of respect. Okay, so how many people does it serve? Baltimore is 92 square miles roughly, 91, 92 square miles roughly. It serves 2.6 square miles. I have a funny feeling it may have grown since that statement was in there. Baltimore's not exactly fantastic at proofreading and updating situations, but they sure try to pat themselves on the back. I can prove that here. Let's prove that. Sunday, June 2nd, 2023, Mayor Brandon Scott, along with the Mayor's Office Neighborhood Safety Engagement, MONSE, we've heard that, they are reporting and telling us that on July 2nd, a horrific issue happened. Thank you very much. Not too great at the proofreading. I just proved my point. All right. So I don't know if it's 2.6, if it expanded. It started by Hopkins in the McElderly neighborhood. I think Cherry Hill was the other neighborhood it started in. I think it's actually expanded since then. I don't know. We're going to have to really look at that. Then every year or every 5 years or whatever is set up by the funding of the grants, they send in evaluations of their statistics. Statistics. As an educator for many, many years, 78% of all statistics are made up on the spot. I made that one up. They're tricky because studies like this, grants like this, situations like this, they narrow those questions on those statistics so that they can have like and like comparisons. Let me give you an example. I had a student when I was teaching in Howard County who worked with the medical director of Howard County's Fire and Rescue. They participated in a cardiac study for cardiac arrest to improve the outcomes. It's a very low number of people who actually get to go home. They wanted to raise this. But the statistics that they actually studied and what they were actually gathering was a certain type of cardiac arrest that was witnessed. There were certain criteria for the treatments of that. And there was also, you had to say yes, you would participate. And there were all these criteria making it more and more and more and more narrow. It does two things. It makes it like and like comparisons, which is good. And it makes it look very specific, which can be tricky. That's where I think this comes in. So you've got a tricky situation where Safe Streets is trying to, what do they call it? Interrupt? It's an interruption program. It's an interrupter program. How do you know you've stopped anything just because you talked to somebody? Or how do you know that it didn't occur like 3 days later? And does that make it your interrupter a true statistic? That's really the question, though, isn't it? So then these evaluations, they keep giving them money, they keep funding, they keep growing, they keep, the program going based on these evaluations. And then, MONSE comes in. MONSE is the mayor's whole political thing. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to stop because we need to take a real deep dive into a lot of this, and it's going to be very long and very boring. So, and I do really, really want to get into this. So we've got lots of little things we can click over here so we can really find out. Maybe we'll even go to the community and see what they have to say about it. but Safe Streets was there. They mediated apparently, or did their interrupting, whatever it is. And let's see where this leads us. Let's see where the rabbit hole goes. I want to thank you. Please like, share, and ask questions so that I know where to take this. If you're interested in it, I certainly am. Let's see where this takes us. Like I said, like, share, um, subscribe, do whatever it is that we do on these things. I so appreciate everybody. Be safe and thank you so much.